Yes, good afternoon officers. Time for a short video. Today's small video is about Shipki La Pass, very important. So, Shipki La Pass, why it is important, trade corridor, linkage, everything. So if you observe this is the points, Shipki La, borders, Tibet, Uttarakhand borders. So there are a lot of other important passes also. So recently opening has been done about this pass, and currently if you want to visit this corridors and all, just your Aadhaar card is sufficient. So it boosts up connectivity, trade as well as commerce. It's very important. It is a counter for China's thing also. So keeping that in mind, this Shipki La Pass is very important, and you are bound to get at least one question for prelims this year. So why it is important and all that, let's have a quick glance at all these things. So if you observe this, so China, Yadong, Nathula Pass, Doklam Bowl, Tri-Border Junction, Siliguri and Siliguri corridor here. So it's a Himalayan face-off. If you look at this, the Silk Route and all. So if you observe this, located in an altitude of 3,930 in Kinnaur, Himachal Pradesh, Shipki La connects Gari prefecture of Tibet. So this is the major point. So it is one of the 3 open Indo-China border posts for trade. So one is Shipki La, the other is Nathula, which is in Sikkim, and Lipu Lake in Uttarakhand. So these are very, very important for your prelims. So which are the 3 passes from which trade happens with respect to China, which are open. So initially it worked as a vital silk route to trade path, and we have lot of folklore indicating ancient community agreements between these 2 paths, especially on barter as well as spiritual exchanges. So this is a major point. So it is linked to the Kailash Mansarovar and Ripu Glacier, making it not just commercial but also a pilgrimage important site. So that is the reason why these points are important. One is open posts, second community linkage, third spiritual linkage. So in all these 3 things, this pass is very, very important. It has been recently in news. So therefore, let's have a quick glance. Now the trade was halted with respect to Sino-India War, the Talang incursion. So no formal resumption post Doklam standoff and COVID-19. So till there, nothing was there. Recent talks, trade and people-to-people contact signaling warming ties. What are the major things that trade was done on? Wool, salt, horses, goats, gold, borax, musk, silk, yak tails and prayer flags. These are all the goods. Apart from that, barley, pulses, metals, oils, tea, tobacco, carpets, dry fruits, fostering rural relevant, especially with respect to border districts. So this is a big trade system. So trade point of view, this is a major importance, because a lot of items are being moving here and there. That means exported as well as imported. So reopening can cut Delhi Mansarovar pilgrimage route by 14 days. So 14 days reduction, and it's a good for the spiritual economy. And finally, no permit needed right now, just Aadhaar card and boosting domestic ecotourism. So these are the advantages with respect to economy. So 14 days journey is reduced, so that gives a movement of people will become very easy, especially in the Shipki La Pass. So that's the point. So region shares Buddhists, Bon as well as Tibetan culture, especially among Kinnaur and Tibetan tribes, encourages soft diplomacy and border village regeneration. So opening trade through Shipki La can act as a confidence building measure, that is CBM, and escalation between India and China can reduce a little bit because of this, especially with respect to LAC tensions. So border road agreements can also help manage grey zones as well as illegal crossings. The Kinnaur Indo-China Trade Association, reckoning with respect to Ministry of External Affairs and CM of Himachal Pradesh, reflects grassroots level aspirations and cultural revival. So both of these things can nicely happen. So if you live in Darburg, Shirk, Oldie Road, so the BRO actually does a big work in this to improve the trade and commerce. Therefore, it becomes a very, very important mention with respect to the prelims as well as mains point of view. So the Kinnaur Indo-China Trade Association is very important. So if you observe, this is cultural ties, This CBM is important, and this the Kinnaur Indo-China Trade Association, so KICTA, and illegal crossings is an issue, so this can be reduced, and grey zones also can be reduced. So more legal networks will come out, so that is the advantage of it. Trade can enhance border road infrastructure, especially border roads organization and the recent opening of a lot of things. So supply chains will build, hospitality, especially for Himachal, it's very good. Employment opportunity, tourism, transport and rural entrepreneurship will rise a lot. This will be Pakistan's closed border system, which is very bad for us. India's open border policy rooted with cultural diversity and connectivity as well. So symbol of peaceful border resolution, economic cooperation and strategic depth in Indo Tibetan policy. So we already know that issue with respect to Tibet and China. India has always given the sovereign clause with respect to Tibet, and Tibet has always been very, very supportive to India in a lot of issues. So we were the people who saved them for a long time, and even today we are saving them, especially with Dalai Lama issue and all that. So moving on, overall what is the whole game in this? Quick glance. In terms of geoeconomics, trade route revival between India and Tibet, which is with minimal conflict, very good point. Next, with respect to soft diplomacy, people to people culture and religious linkages. Next, CBMs, confidence building measures, tensions with China, post-border standoffs. Strategic infrastructure, what is the major point? Roads, logistics, pilgrimage boostages and frontier regions. And borderland development model, reviving rural livelihoods through bilateral exchange points. These are all the points that you have to mention in your mains. So we are starting a foundation batch on June 30th. You can use the code SP Live, that is Shaman Paidikunda Live. You will get 15 to 20% discount. Fees is 1,20,000, will be reduced to 1 lakh or 1,05,000. If you have any queries, you can call 812-11-919-985. Tell your name, use the code, get the concession. So this point is very, very important. So very, very useful for revisions. Instead of reading everything, you can directly you have to revise all these things. So look at all the points: Pakistan's closed border, India's openness, Himachal, supply chain, hospitality, and then soft diplomacy, Buddhist, born as well as Tibet. These three are very important. And finally, Kinnaur Indo-China Trade Association, illegal crossings issue, grey zones issue. Then talks to revival trade. Look at all this: wool, salt, horse, goats, buraks, yak tails. These are all the items which are being exported and imported. And finally, apart from these three open Indo-China border issues, one is Shipki La, one is Nathula, which is in Sikkim, and Lipu Lake, which is in Uttarakhand, and Vital Silk Roads, and Ripo Glacier, very important, Kailash Mansarovar. So all these are in 3930 in Himachal Pradesh. So if you look at this is a point: Shipki La Pass and Shipki La Pass, Maling Pass, and all these things, and this is how it is. So therefore this topic is very, very important for Indo-China relations and Indo-Tibet relations, and using of soft diplomacy and people to people connect will warm the ties a little bit and reduces Pakistan's version of things, at the same time China's version also, because currently the whole game is India trying to become the leader. Therefore every point of this is very important. Your work, revise, keep yourself cool, revise karo, take the points, note it down, jot it down, create your own prelims as well as mains questions, and get ready for the race. So that's all for today. Thank you. Shaman Paidikunda signing off. Bye-bye.